Hiya, it's me, Nicole Phoenix Star, and this is the Nick Star podcast. Today I am talking about dis-ease and illness and wellness. Recently, I have been listening to a couple of YouTube videos about Elle Macpherson's new book, Elle, which is a series of sharings, as opposed to a memoir, she says, of aspects of her life that she's had great evolution through. And one of the chapters is around her journey with breast cancer. And in the 60 Minutes interview, one really potent answer landed on me. And they were asking her, why she decided to go down a more holistic route rather than taking a more medical, traditional path of, a full mastectomy and chemo and radiology and all of that. And she said that she contacted 32 doctors who all gave her different answers. And she sat with all of her research and, as a wellness guru, she's been immersed in this arena for a really long time, that she deeply knew that she needed to take an approach that was completely aligned for her. And ultimately, she needed to find the root cause of the disease. And that was the very thing that stood out to me and has been absolutely the point of all my healing journeys when I've been in health crisis, and that is finding the root cause of the disease in the body. And, this kind of activates a lot of people because they perceive someone getting cancer or any other disease as something that just happens, and it has nothing to do with them and they can't be blamed. And that's not what's being said here. What I know to be true for me and anyone that I've taken through a health journey is that we can always pinpoint the emotion or the trauma or the issue that gets stuck in the body that manifests to a point that it needs to get your attention. And the body is saying, hey, there's this stuff stuck inside me and you haven't dealt with it. So I don't know what to do with it. And it is becoming toxic and manifests in whatever way it does, and we can look at things like, maybe leukemia in children and things like that and say, well, how did that manifest into their body because of some trauma that happened to them, when they were 1 month old or something. And it's super, super complicated and there is no easy answer because, there's all sorts of energetics involved that are just so broad. But if we're coming back to the point of discussion, and that is, what prompted this whole thing was Elle Macpherson saying that she really needed to look at the root cause of what was her body's message to say, hey, please, can I have your attention, and can you please tend to me? And that's kind of the message that she's trying to portray, you know, that it's a journey when we are given these opportunities of illness or disease or a health crisis. It's an opportunity to address the way we live, address unresolved trauma, address how we process emotions or stuff them away, address how we communicate with other people, and how she did that was not, you know, going in and like removing and highly radiating and getting on with her life, but really spending the time to look at what parts of her life needed addressing and what parts of her life needed healing and what parts of her life needed evolving. And I watched another video of her on, I think it was Sunrise TV, and she said, you know, like, it's been a little shocking but not surprising about how people have responded to all of this. And although it's been uncomfortable for her, she thinks it's the greater good of it all is there's conversations being started, and that ultimately is the biggest message, you know, to start these conversations for people to actually look deeper inside and find out, you know, what is out of alignment with themselves. I know for me that when I had a health crisis in my heart and I had collapsed valve in my heart, I was, you know, for lack of better terms, dealing with a broken heart. And that wasn't because of another. It was, you know, the root cause was a broken heart from myself, from self-betrayal, for not tending to my needs and not tending to my pain and my trauma and just glossing over it and getting on with it. And my body just was like, this isn't okay. You know, you do all of this work, you do all of this spiritual evolution, and you help so many other people. Can you please make it our turn now? And so I was forced to tend to myself and address the way that I care for myself and feed myself and love myself. And after 6 months of diligently doing that, you know, I had 6 cardiologists say to me, you're a miracle healer. Like, they wanted me to have heart surgery. They wanted me to go on beta blockers. They wanted me to, you know, go down that medical route. But I had just had this strong intuition inside me that I needed to address the root cause and to tend to myself in a way of optimum health so I could experience, you know, pure vitality. And every time I've had a health crisis, and I've had a few, it has been a call to action, a screaming message from my body saying, hey, remember me. And, you know, the last couple of years going through perimenopause and crazy things happening in the middle of that, you know, getting severe dengue fever and being misdiagnosed and almost dying, and then coming out of that and within 1 week, you know, getting COVID and just my immunity being so smashed, to 2/3 of my hair falling out, to, you know, having extreme issues in my cervical spine. It just, all of that happening with chaotic hormone activity due to perimenopause. And yeah, I got to a pinnacle point where I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. And the little voice in my head said, you know exactly what you need to do. And so again, I started the journey of looking at the root cause of how I was tending myself and feeding myself and moving my body and resting and addressing this season in my life appropriately for where my hormone activity was, because it changes in all the seasons of our lives. And, you know, there's been so many times where traditional medicine has been incredibly helpful and absolutely life-saving and incredible, purposeful research. And I have been able to weave both sides of traditional medicine and holistical medicine and deep inner work and natural medicine and supplements and real food. Like for me, the greatest medicine I've ever had is real food, appropriate to my situation and appropriate to my age. And it has been the catalyst every single time to extreme healing. And so, you know, it's not a black and white thing, and all aspects have a place of appropriateness. And ultimately, to really listen to your body anytime that it's out of alignment and recognize that, you know, you don't just have a bout of cancer for no reason. There's always a reason. And you can generally find whichever part in your body it's in some hints, you know, and whether that is you're holding resentment or you're in extreme self-betrayal or you just never speak your truth and never speak up for yourself, you know, like all of these generally manifest in certain areas of the body, and that can be a hint for you. And so, you know, whatever you feel is aligned for you in terms of getting medical care, do that. But know that there's evolution and opportunity knocking at the door so hard. And you can use both in whatever combination that feels right for you. Because that's the human experience, you know. And I just need to turn on the air conditioner because it's really getting hot in my office. You know, I'm just so passionate about wellness and it not being this like perfect health thing, you know. I don't preach that or follow that, like, you know, being this restrictive, stringent, must do, only ever. That never works. Doesn't work for anyone. It's to be able to find that, I think they call it the 80-20 rule, you know, 80% of the time do the things that feel aligned for you, feel nourished for you, and 20% of the time kind of float around in things. I mean, I probably do 95.5, just because I'm in a 12-month container of commitment to myself. And there was probably a season of about 6 months where I was 100% every single day, just because I'm a bit of a beast and I'm incredibly disciplined, and it was not a forever thing. It was like, I'm going to commit to this time of doing this for me, and I just show up for me 100%, all in, no questions asked. There's no try. And then it's like, okay, well, the results from that were extraordinary. Like, let's bring in a bit of a different balance. And, you know, as I've been in my maintenance stage, over the last, I'm going to say 4 months, but it's actually more like 6 months, there is just so much more fluidity. And I don't know, like most days I feel like I have these levels of decadent treats, which, you know, aren't plastic crap food, but they feel very decadent. I don't know. It's a funny kind of reality. All I know is that, you know, taking this journey, that you can, that menopause forces you on. Like it does. It just forces you to tend to yourself. The outcome has been unimaginable, you know, like having no aches and pains in your body, being incredibly strong, having so much energy, being like in the greatest shape ever of your life. And that is a result from me tending to every aspect of me, you know, like exactly the message that, you know, Elle's saying. And that is, anytime that your body presents anything out of alignment, whether that be as something as drastic as cancer or frozen shoulder or, you know, having weird skin issue, it's your body saying, hey, there's something out of alignment here. Can you please tend to it and find out what part of you is ready and ripe for you to evolve? Because, you know, we may have some traumatic event inside us that we've hidden away and trapped down in our body, and we've come to a point when we're ready to address it. That's how it manifests in the body. It goes, hey, here I am. We're ready. And it can be difficult to face these messages because people get scared. Their mortality is being really, really poked. And, you know, the last thing they want to do is address even more hard stuff. They just want it gone. And that's just discarding yourself. This is the point of the human experience. And when your incredibly beautiful, highly intelligent body gives you a message and says, hey, can I have your attention, please? Because all the little signs I've sent you before, you've ignored. So I needed to up the ante a little. So can you please address me now? And we can do that through a combination of looking within and looking at those part of us that are out of alignment with traditional medicine, because we're so fortunate to live in a time where we have really incredible machines and really wise people and really helpful medicine. It's not either or. It's all of it entirety. It's all and the whole. Not either or. All. So, yeah. It's so empowering when you address things that you've been running away from for years, when you address, parts of you that have been scared to speak up. It's so empowering to evolve out of those. It's extraordinary coming out the other side, knowing that not only have you healed like a physical thing, but you've grown from that opportunity and you've evolved that thing that you've been ignoring for so long. And that, my love, is liberation. So please know that anytime you have a physical ailment, to just look a little deeper and to see what the message is from your incredibly intelligent body. What's it trying to tell you? Okay, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for listening to me. Please share this with anyone that you may feel could benefit from this information. My website is www.nickstar.com, NIKSTARR. All my love, and let life live through you. Mwah.